Hello my friend, welcome to the Semantic SEO course, Fundamentals. In this course, you will be able to understand that the success in SEO doesn't come from following the crowd. It is coming from carving your own path. You will be able to realize that you can actually change the perception of the algorithms. You can convince search engine that Apple is actually not just the Apple, it is something else. You can add different attributes to the entities and you can associate queries to the different queries. You can directly bend the meaning of the words and you can affect which website will be ranking and which website will be ranking exactly where, as you wish. You will be able to locate the website by playing with the numbers. You will understand that it is not just about helping the users. It is about the algorithms and communicating with the search engine. In this course, you will be talking to the search engine and you will learn how to think like an engineer and the search philosopher at the same time. The course is completely practical and I am actually recording this video just today because I wanted to tell you the welcome to the revolution. In this video, in a quick way, quick in my standards, we will be just giving you a guideline how to finish this course. And at the same time, you should understand that right now the course is over 9 hours and you will need to watch this course at least 3 or 4 times to understand the essence inside that. And it will be showing you the way in a permanent way. Every case study that I have written, it is not written or published just for that week, month or the year. It will be able to understand and also it will be able to help you to understand and also it will be able to show you how the search engines work based on permanent principles. Even if you are someone from 1 century later, still, if you read these things, if you listen these things, you will be able to actually do perfect things for that search engine or for the search engine of that specific era. So, inside the course, you will be able to submit your feedback directly. And at the same time, according to your feedback, new lectures will be coming. Right now we have 87, but probably after a certain amount of time, it might be even 187. Every lecture will need to be short. So average lecture length on the course is 6 minutes. So based on that, try to keep your feedbacks or the questions efficient in terms of the length so that we can directly add extra things or extra paragraphs or extra lectures to the specifically appropriate places. And if we start to the structure of the course, you will realize that the course will start from the existing topical maps. And all these topical maps, they are already active and they are ranking. Then we will be checking the existing content briefs and the principles behind that. You will be learning the anatomy of the topical maps. Then we will go into the semantic content networks. You will realize that it is not just about creating a single brief. It is about actually creating all of them at the same time. Because if one of them ranks higher, you will be able to rank for another one as well. If one of them actually is not able to satisfy a single good question for a single good attribute or relevant attribute, you won't be able to actually rank there in an appropriate way as well. You will be able to learn how the ranking algorithms work, what are the ranking phases or the states. And you will be able to configure your content briefs according to this. You will also see how I structure sentences and you will see already ranking articles, their performance, and you will be able to compare from topical map content brief to the semantic content network directly to the actual existing web pages and their historical performance as well. And I will be calling most of these things in this course as the content configuration because you will be configuring the content while increasing relevance and also the responsiveness. Responsiveness is not same with the relevance. Basically, with the responsiveness, you will need to actually give the right information or relevant information as well. And with that said, while giving the relevant information, you will need to change the word sequences. Because even if you tell the same thing, when you change the order of the verse or order of declarations or structure of the paragraphs, you will realize that you'll be able to rank higher, very much higher. Information extraction is not the same thing with the information retrieval. Information extraction is actually mainly what ChatGPT does. When it comes to the retrieval, it is about retrieving a specific document based on its relevance. And when it comes to quality, it is an additional layer there. And optimizing the content for initial and the ranking differently. So, as I say, You don't have to do everything perfect at the beginning when it comes to the ranking. The first ranking algorithms, they usually check the quantities, which means that they check the distributional semantics and the statistical linguistics. It is about what appears where with another what exactly. So when it comes to the re-ranking, these algorithms are more expensive, and to be able to achieve these algorithms for yourself, you want to prove that you are actually worth to that cost. Understanding quantitative and qualitative ranking algorithms will be explained while checking certain type of articles. Because if you're able to exceed the quality thresholds, the search engine will start to show more attention for your website. And you will be able to actually examine the initial rankings and the re-rankings inside your graph, and you will be able to understand negative and positive ranking states as well. Also keep this in your mind. Relevance is not directly the key in semantics. It is mainly about the quality, information responsiveness. Just because you have the relevance, it doesn't mean that actually search engine like your content. And information responsiveness, basically, accuracy, objectivity, relevance, unique value, accessibility, completeness, timeliness, repetition. It has all these subsections. And you will need to actually satisfy all these specific, let's say, configuration dimensions when it comes to creating content. And remove, raise, reduce, and reward. These are 4 principles of Google when it comes to actually evaluating your content. The information responsiveness, it comes from directly my own conceptual glossary. Basically, it means that the information that you are giving has to give an answer to the query needs. Even if it is not entirely correct, and even if you don't know the answer, still you can stay responsive. And especially after the lecture 60, you will see the examples of these things over the existing articles. Topical map anatomy. Every topical map or every section of the topical map, it doesn't have always the same amount of quality or prioritization. For instance, the quality nodes inside a topical map, it is directly for outranking the competitors and giving the signal for a complete re-ranking to the search engine. Sometimes I realize that a website loses rankings just for a few pages 1 year before, and then 1 year later in a core algorithm update, they lose everything because the search engine has the confidence now for actually choosing other source. Not give this opportunity to your competitors, and these are for quality nodes. The core section of the topical map, it is different. It is where all the page rank actually flows, where all the relatively important signals like internal links flows, and where actually we monetize and where actually we are being connected to the topic with our own brand, which is source context. And the historical data is mainly coming from the author section of the topical map. It is about actually not for the main attributes or the main context attributes to our topic, but still you will need to actually process them as well. You will see all these practical things directly from the first lecture. So this is just a kind of introduction for the concepts. Do not worry. In the next lectures, you will be able to see everything in a concrete way, but just keep these things in your mind. Inside the fundamentals section, by the way, you will be able to see the definitions of all these concepts in a more expanded way. And if you need any kinds of help, over the 2 years, I have published, as I say, more than 500,000 words and more than 30 hours of actual videos, including interviews. And in this case, actually, you will be able to find all these links there too. Whenever you need to understand or grasp this concept a little bit further, check some of these free trainings. And to be honest, you don't need to check all of them, but if you feel the need, check them. And if you just check the lectures repeatedly, you will be able to realize and grasp the essence of all these concepts in a practical way very much better. The source context is the connection between us and between a topic. If you are an engineer or if you are a dietitian, and let's say we have something common between them, and usually in semantics there's always something common, and it means that these two classes, they can't approach the same topic in the same way. They will need to reflect their own identity to the topic and their tonality. When it comes to central entity, it is the entity that will be appearing in all of the topical map. It will be reflecting actually our central search intent, which will be the intent that will be reflected in our all of n-grams, predicates, nouns, or specific context. And we will need to be sharpening the context in entire website by reflecting our purpose overall. Semantic content network is the collection of all the content briefs that consist of actually specific type of content items that has always a macro and a micro context. And content brief creation, I can tell that this is where the real magic happens, and you will need to calculate and feel and sense the search engine and their relevance calculations, and you'll be able to do this thanks to this course. When it comes to the process of distribution of the facts or context relevance points, and relevance points means that actually In information or science of information retrieval zone means that where the specific relevance is being gathered. And when it comes to the main and the supplementary content, I have explained it before. Basically, the main content is where we actually process the main topic, where the anchor texts are more relevant, everything is more detailed, and where the macro context has been processed. The supplementary content actually is for more contextual bridges to the other types of query networks, that is, let's say, from Elbit side topics. You will see these things repeatedly. Macro context is basically the context of the main content, but is reflected in the supplementary content too. Micro context, or let's say the subcontext, these are the subsections or the subsegments that we will be processing with different types of predicates. Main content, as I say, all the possible, let's say, answer terms, context terms, and topical entries, they all will be appearing directly in that area. You will also realize that we will be processing a little bit of predictive information retrieval, which means that even if you are not able to give the actual quality for overall content from the beginning, if your introductory section, if the first sentences after the headings, if they are not good enough, whether the page is about e-commerce or whether it is about just affiliate, it doesn't matter. If your first sentences, which is called subordinate text, and the first sentence is called first word sequence in information retrieval and extraction, if it is not quality enough, the search engine can just skip your document because they don't have enough resources to process everything. And we explain the supplementary content. The minor entities, they will be appearing on that section. Do not just directly distribute entities to everywhere on the document. You will need to consolidate them to the different places inside the document. Contextual vector. This is one of the most important things inside the Corai's framework. And beta testers, they call all these things actually as Corai's or Corai's framework. So if you need to communicate with each other at somewhere, you will need to understand these, let's say, concepts, or you will need to be able to imitate the processes. And I don't like the word imitation that much. Try to understand the process and repeat the process in your own, let's say, mindset. But you will be able to achieve the success as long as you are bound to these principles. When it comes to contextual vector, this is actually how we process